And as we get this underway, to the top right hand side, our yellow Zerg player from Splice. Give it up if you're cheering on Solar. And to the bottom right left hand side, our red Zerg player from Team Liquid. It is Snute. So ZvZ best of 3. Looking to see what's going to happen, looking to see what's going to be going on. In the early stages, we already have the 12 pool to kick things off from Solar's side of things. So again, getting aggressive right from the get-go. Honestly, within the entire series between these players, I wouldn't be surprised if we would just see kind of a bit of aggression from both, but at least one macro game. Obviously, the 12 pool actually more often than not lately does lead into a more macro sort of style. Obviously you can do enough damage where you can just end the game if the opponent messes up the micro, or you can be significantly ahead, I think is a better way to put it. I think very rarely does a 12 pool without gas actually just straight up end the game, as we're going to be getting set up into this in the next couple of moments. So Drone going to come down to low ground, going to get this hatchery set up in a moment or two, and that will be, of course, the follow-up from the 12 pool as Snute just goes hatch gas pool. So going to be a bit about micro here in the near future. So hatchery on the way up, Overlord's coming across, a couple of Zerglings on the way, and just continue to get set up into this to see what is going to be the way that Snute chooses to try and defend this here. Obviously, generally, you're going to want to pull some drones off the line to try and keep your hatchery alive, because the problem is if you do lose the hatchery, all of a sudden you do start to give your opponent an advantage where he's got a hatchery finished up and he can just drone. So that's going to be very interesting to see how it goes. A sixling's going to arrive onto the natural expansion. As you're going to be starting to see them nibbling away at this hatchery and just looking to see what else is going on. There's a few drones nibbling away. Obviously, right now, they can't really fight this, though, so extra ling's going to have to come down. He actually builds a spy on the low ground, so maybe he does just give up the hatchery here, Snute, and just allow Solo to take that advantage. I guess in a way it means that he doesn't have to lose manning time, and especially if he cancels the spine crawl and he just defends with lings on the high ground, then he can kind of just say, well, okay, my economy is still very good and that can make up for the 300 minerals lost in that hatchery and the delayed hatchery as a follow-up. Snute will also have the ling speed a lot faster here. He had his gas and he never pulled out of it, whereas Solo, of course, without the gas, is going to have a lot longer until he gets ling speed, if he gets ling speed at all. We're going to be seeing these lings from Snute coming in and Solo just fighting on the ramp, actually. I'm not sure how much I like that, as we're going to be seeing... well, Solo does have a few more units. Snute trying to fight down here because he wants to get that hatchery started up once again. As we're just going to be seeing the lings continue to fight on. Queen comes in as well, though, and that should be enough to turn the tide in Snute's favor, and this drone will be able to become a hatchery as Solo backs away. He's taking a worker lead, though. A couple of workers on the way in the production tab from each means that Solo really will maintain this worker lead as well. But what can Snute do with the ling speed? Remember, that's going to kick in very shortly, and that will be a small advantage for him where he can run around, where he can get some damage done. We'll see what's going to happen as those lings off Solo are going to run by and just look to see what else is happening. So, Evolution Chamber on the way behind this mineral line. More Zerglings coming across towards the upper right-hand side. And Solo just setting up with a couple of queens at the front, ready to help him defend, of course. Of course, with the ling speed, Snute can maybe sneak on by and go up in towards the main base. Let's see what he tries to get done here. As right now, he really does trail heavily in the worker count. 8 workers down. That's not an easy position to come back from, but the faster Evo Chamber will give him the Evolution Chamber, the +1 missile upgrade already. So already able to go in towards the +1 missiles. These lings coming into the top side. He will use a drop Overlord as well, but Solo's going to see this. No, his Overlord stops just a little bit too shy of that Overlord to see the actual drop coming in. Solo's just a little bit too good, though. He's a little bit, well, oh my god, no way. He doesn't see it. This one little corner where the Overlord actually is dropping, and he just didn't see it for a little while. Now he does. The Queens are moving into the main base and are going to be seeing those rest of those Zerglings going to jump down in towards the natural expansion to do a little bit more. Going to be fighting away on a bunch of those drones right from the get-go. I'm just going to be seeing the Queens continue to push those Zerglings away. And another Queen on the way up and looking to see what else is happening. +1 missile attack on the way as well, coming up to being about halfway done. Zerglings continuing to come on out and along as we're going to be seeing Snute just having, well, still a bit of a deficit here. Having given up that hatchery really does hurt him early game. Maybe a bit of a mystery as to just what exactly it was from Solar, as we're going to be seeing the lair on the way up from both players now. The Rotron coming through from Snute as well. As we are just going to be seeing that Rotron coming through, getting set to go. Obviously, just the big advantage that Snute has, I guess, is the ability to maybe make just a lot of roaches very quickly here with a +1 already on them. Maybe that's Snute's best opportunity now. 2 more overlords on the way up, not currently making drones, stacking up a little bit of lava. So maybe as that roach run finishes, we do see a surge of roaches, and we do see Snute heading across the map, looking to see what he can get up to. Let's see what's going to happen. There's a couple of queens coming to the top side. And this Dropper Lord is going to get pushed all the way away up here. As we're going to see some lings through the center of the map as well. Coming all the way over to the right and looking to see what else is going on. Lings and roaches continue to gather together. Just going to see those lings continue to come down through the south side. I'm just going to be seeing what else they can get up to as we're going to see this queen coming out and just going to be poking away at the overlord here. Just going to be seeing more zerglings coming through and just going to continue to try and fight away here. Still no speed, of course, from Solar. I mean, at this stage, these lings are not really that useful, so he's just trying to find something with them, but he can't really find anything at all. And I'm just going to see the rest of those lings getting taken down. And again, just going to see this Overseer moving out from the main base as well. Just Solar continuing to scout along here. Snute holding on with that worker deficit. I mean, throughout this entire game. Did we not actually host this game? Hard apologies, guys. Don't have the mods on. I really do apologize. But, yeah, throughout this entire game, Snute has been playing down on workers. But again, maybe that upgrade lead can help him out a little bit along the way. Problem is, if Solar hits +1 here very soon and then Roach Speed and he attacks, well, he's just got straight up more units right now. And Snute's +2 doesn't finish for some time. And so maybe that's the opportunity where Solar can just go in and end the game right away. So we'll see what's going to happen. As we're just going to be seeing those roaches, a couple of queens continue to come up towards the top side. Overlords are spreading out. And they are just continuing to take this map control here at the moment. Again, more roaches coming up to the top side. A couple more Ravagers on the way in. We are going to be seeing that roach speed from Snute continue to come on up and to keep on going. So roach speed going to be finishing it in a moment or two. A couple of corrosive bars coming down. I'm just going to be seeing those roaches continue to just look to see what else might happen. A Changeling, unfortunately, is not going to be too successful here, so I'm not really sure why he drops that Changeling. Maybe he's afraid the Overseer is actually going to die? I don't know. I don't think he really gave him more information than what he just saw. We're just going to be seeing this Overlord down to the south again. This Overseer getting picked off as well. We're just going to be seeing this Ravager, another one just wolfing in over on the left-hand side. So again, Snute is stabilizing somewhat, but how will he actually do once a fight comes around? That's the big question. You know, it's all well and dandy being kind of alive at the moment, but as soon as Solar starts being aggressive, Snute, well, he might just start to struggle. He's still only on 37 workers, and that really is affecting him when it comes to the army count here. He's down by 7 roaches. He's down a few Ravagers, or he's actually up in Ravagers, so it's actually not so bad. He does have the +2 attack upgrade. It just feels though, because he's going to be the aggressor now, Solar's the player who's sat back at home. He's going to have the shorter reinforcements distance. He's going to have the naturally better defensive. Just going to be seeing these roaches coming in against each other and looking to see what else they can do. Roach is going to come around the top. I like this for Snute right now, but Solar is going to eventually get a wraparound. It would have been nice if Snute could have jumped more in this army, but Solar was just a bit too quick with his flank, and now he's just going to have the full surround, making use of his early game advantage and having played this out pretty well from there. Never really given... I mean, Snute, I guess, hasn't really tried to attack, but at the end of the day, when he does, Solar just had a little bit too much. A few too many drones in advantage. And that's going to be GG. Solar takes game number 1 of this series. As we get going into this, to the top left-hand side, our red Zerg player from Team Liquid. It's Snute. Down a game. Remember, even if he drops map 2 here, we still get to see the 3rd game. And Solar, on a bit of a tear in the last day or so, actually apparently took down a Laser and Scarlet in an event yesterday, is what I was just reading, I believe. I didn't actually get to see the games myself, but that's what I... got told, or just read on. I actually think I clicked on Solar's fan club for some reason, so they were kind of discussing it there, so I think that's what happened. Is we do have him, the yellow Zerg from Splice to the bottom right hand side. It is Solar. Alright, so set up into this, looking to see what's going to happen as Overlords coming out onto the map. You're going to see the little cleaning bot here as well, one of my faves. And as we're just going to be seeing the cleaning bot just sat here and looking to see if he can do any cleaning. No creep over here yet though, buddy. You're going to have your work cut out for you if these Zergs do start creeping up the map. Again, this is Parasite by ZvZ, and pretty interesting map because it's a macro-focused map where, yeah, you can definitely see how, you know, the third base is very easy to hold. You can expand over here as well for a bit of a difference. You can even expand forwards, which is something we saw some players doing as well. So very interesting as we do look to see just how this continues on. A couple more drones on the way up from both players, and just going to be seeing Hatch Gas Pool obviously is the opener, which means it's much more standard, much more sort of macro focused, and obviously from here you can go into pretty much any follow-up you would like to. The most common one is the third hatchery and the Ling Bane aggression off of 25-ish workers, and from there you can kind of go on and you can well, you can kind of just go on and play, you know, switch into roaches eventually. Depends how aggressive you want to be. I mean, there is possibilities of skipping a, you know, skipping a bane nest, going straight to roaches. We've seen a lot of players lately even skipping Ling Speed and going into an Evo Chamber and then Carapace. So that's something that could happen here as well, but Ling Speed does start from both, and so it is just going to be Lings for now. I mean, obviously, as workers pulled out of gas, the idea of going Carapace and then Ling Speed was kind of out of the question, at least for Solar. Again, Snute's going to continue mining away, so he's going to have a much faster Baneling Nest here. So we'll see if he wants to make that kind of aggressive, or whether he's just going to use it in a way to, again, really help him defend a third hatchery. Something which Solar is already setting up down to the south side. Alright, so hatchery going to come down to the south, and again, a few more Zerglings coming up through the center of the map. I'm just going to be looking to see what they are going to get up to. As they're going to come all the way up to the top left-hand side. Queens just going to sit here from Snute and the Evolution Chamber, about to finish up in the back, so it's still a pretty fast Evo, so maybe he does still go Carapace here. And there it is, the Carapace upgrade coming through. So, again, it's not quite as fast a Carapace as what I was talking about. I was saying, you know, maybe you skip Ling Speed, and then you can go Carapace, and then by the time you have 100 gas again, you can actually start up Ling Speed, and they finish at about the same time, and that gives you a pretty cool little timing. This is a little bit different, as Snute will take his third hatchery, obviously a bit later, because he's invested into an Evo Chamber and the Carapace upgrade. Now, as those come through, you're going to see some more Ling Speed, and then the Baneling Nest as well at the front coming up also. So that's going to be getting set up here, getting ready to go. As you do see, again, this Overlord just on the way out. More Zerglings coming up, and I'm just going to be seeing, again, this entire setup here from Snute getting ready to roll. So again, more Lings coming across here from Snute. Solar is just going to sit there and get ready to defend with a few of his Banelings morphing in. Looking to see what he can maybe do to defend this here. Of course, right now, Snute doesn't have that Carapace upgrade finished, right? So he's got to wait a little while longer for that. But already just moving around, looking for opportunities. And Solar was off to the left. Snute thought about diving into the natural on the main base, but decides not to. There's another couple of Banelings on the way up. As you're going to see, that Rotron is about halfway done as well. And this Queen going to be completing shortly. As just going to be seen again, the Zerglings of Snute continuing up the left-hand side. And again, Solar just sat in the middle, looking to see maybe what he can get up to next. Again, Ling's coming in, picking off another Zergling as well. Another couple of Banelings too. And Solar here, still just going to continue to move on forwards. A couple of Banes going off. Again, not so bad as we see these Roaches continue to come on up and continue to move across the map potentially in the next few moments. So again, just Lings continue to come on in towards each other, and again, there's one Baneling of Solar, also looking to see what else is going on, but there is, of course, the Carapace coming in. Although it only hit one Ling, it does allow him to just keep that Ling alive. First Roach morphing into a Ravager to keep itself alive. The more Roaches coming out here, again, Carapace will definitely help these Roaches. Already having that upgrade there does help a little bit. Nice Corrosive Bar, which doesn't hit the Ravager, but stops the Lings from surrounding it. And Snute dealing with this pressure well so far. And Solar, obviously a little bit behind when it comes to the Roach-based play. And that's what could really hurt him here throughout the game. And already, by the way, as well, different third bases taken here on Parasite, which is what I always love about a map, when players take different bases as their third. I mean, I think you can really get away with both here. This one's got a couple of... I mean, it's the entrance point from the same direction, but it's a bit of a larger entryway than this way. But this entrance is a little bit further off than this entrance over here, so it can kind of work in a couple of ways. It's interesting to see that Snute and Solar both go for different bases in these early stages, as we're going to be seeing the Roaches, Lings, Ravager as well, just gathering up. Sometimes players will play kind of a Ling Ravager style when they open characters, but with the missile upgrade already coming through, it looks as though Snute is quite happy to just transition pretty much purely into Roaches. Oh my god, Snute just lost 9 workers or so in the natural. Well, that's a big deal. As we're just going to be seeing again those Missile upgrades coming through, but Snute is going to be that a little bit faster. Can he do something with that? Well, it's going to be difficult, because without the lair, he's not going to set roach speed. He's not going to have the roach speed available. And when he doesn't have that roach speed available to him, how do you move across the map without just being in a really difficult position? It's going to be really, really tough, as we're going to be seeing these Zerglings from Solo continue to come across the map, and looking to see what else is going on. So Solo going to continue to come up here. Can he go into the natural? Well, okay, maybe not. Snute does have roaches and a Ravager in position. They're going to be able to defend and deflect. As we're going to see more of these Overlords of Solo continue to come out the front. Just going to be seeing the +1 missile attack. Roach speed coming up as well. More drones coming out also here at the same time, as we continue to set up into this now. +2/+2 on the way from Snute, so he's even going into the double evos at this stage, looking to keep up with the upgrades, but just in general, Solar just seems to have so much more. I mean, the income advantage has been a little bit in his favor, not overly massively, but look at the rise in this army supply. I mean, is there just a different set of tech units here? No, it's really just roaches from Solo as well. I mean, when I say different tech units, I mean, does he have maybe, like, is maybe Snute making a couple of extra Ravages? Maybe that's why his army supply isn't exploding, because he isn't just spamming roaches. Obviously, I mean, +2 Carapace will cost a little bit, and that's a few roaches. But other than that, I mean, it really is just the eco difference that's been in the game, and obviously, just Snute in general kind of invested into Carapace early as well. Oh, how interesting. Just don't feel as though Snute should be this far behind as Solo comes in towards the upper left-hand side of the map. Let's see what he can get up to. It's just going to be seeing the roaches and Ravages from Solo. I mean, again, only a couple of Ravages, but those battles are already forcing some of the roaches away, as Snute has to get rid of this fourth base on the left-hand side, and Solo, quite frankly, just has an absolutely terrifying number of units here. Continue to move around. Another Ravager will begin to morph in. These roaches and Ravages continue to move up towards the upper side of the map. We're just going to see more corrosive battles continue to drop on down. Ravager gets killed off, and we're just going to be seeing more and more of these units. There's just going to be seeing more of these units continue to fight on it. It's just too much for Solo, and he takes the 2-0. Support, guys, as we go into game 3. Solo versus Snute. It is, again, a best of 3, but we play the last game no matter what. To the left-hand side, top left, on Artana. Our yellow Zerg player is Solo. To the bottom right-hand side, our red Zerg player from Team Liquid, it is Snute. Alright, so let's see what's going to happen as we go into our final game of this. Can Snute find a way to just get into a macro setup? We will have a look here in the next couple of moments. We'll see if he's going to be able to get this going or not. As we do see Overlord just starting to come across the map. Looking to see what is going to happen. So, of course, hatchery first then, and that means that we're not going to see aggression from the very early startup of this game. And we're just going to be seeing a couple of drones on the way up from each side. It's going to be seeing the hatchery coming up on each side of the map, of course, Extractor coming down from Solar, continuing to get ready to go. There's actually just going to be a free hatch before pool here from Snute, so he's going to get away with a little bit of kind of greed here, I guess, in the early stages. So third hatchery is going to come down on the south side. And again, just Overlords coming through the center, looking to see what else is going on. So obviously, if Solo doesn't roll the dice and kind of, be aggressive in the early stages, it does mean that he will fall a little bit behind here in general. We'll see how aggressive he wants to be, and we'll see what's going to happen. As we are just going to be having this third hatchery coming up. Artana is actually a really cool map, I feel, but I am intrigued in the sense that it's just so choky. I'm not really sure how you meant to really approach this map at all. It's very interesting. You imagine you kind of look, I mean, let's look at Snute's third base. Imagine Solo's got a Roach Force coming in here to fight. How do you attack down this ramp? Well, you just kind of can't. You definitely can't attack through here. That's like a single width ramp. And up here, through the center, it's also pretty choky. I mean, you can take down these rocks, and I guess the best thing would be to come in from multiple angles. But it feels as though then it's very difficult to set up, because you can't just jump onto more of these units on this right-hand side or so. So it's going to be interesting as we're going to see more of these Zerglings continue to come on up, continue to look to see what else is happening. Continue to see what else they can get up to. There's a third hatchery coming down on the left side, and a bait nest coming up from both. So for now, pretty standard play. Obviously, Snute with the free hatch gives them that small advantage early. Otherwise, again, it's pretty standard. I mean, Solo's going to have a faster link speed, right? So you'll be able to get across the map. You'll be able to maybe apply some pressure while he goes into his own third hatchery. It might be one of those games where both players just make a couple of defensive banes, but neither of them actually make much more than that. And so from there, they just start to spam out roaches and it's just sort of, heading towards that roach style. But nope, Solo says, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make a bunch more lings. Now, Snute is just making drones at the moment. So we'll see if that's something which he's going to be able to get back into here. There's a couple of banes coming up over on the left-hand side. So Solo just setting up into something that will be a little bit aggressive. Again, right now, Snute doesn't even have ling speed for another 10 seconds. That's actually not going to affect him too much in the fight as he morphs in his own banelings as well. He's 6 workers up, so if he can deflect this effectively, he would be in a very good position to continue on. As we're going to be seen, well, he doesn't have much over here right away as extra lings arrive. He does get rid of the first baneling very effectively. It doesn't really do much at all. The queen will go down, though, and there's 4 zerglings, 4 drones just sitting there, and they will not have much of a chance. They're going to try to get away, but the lings will chase, and they will get the kills. At the same time, though, Snute's walking banes forwards, but he's decided to pull them back instead. As he gets more zerglings out, he'll be looking to try and keep on defending here, and Solo has just been droning heavily behind this to keep on going. Alright, well, we are going to see 4 drones go out down in the end. Snute apparently didn't actually want to pull those banes back, so he sent them forwards. 4 drones for 4 drones is fine. As Snute gets another round of workers up here, it will even out the game somewhat. And it looks as though Snute has found a way to get into the middle of the map without being enough or too much of an issue. As you're going to see a couple more banes coming up through the center. I'm just going to be seeing that baneling going off. Just for 1 zergling, good deal. Oh my god, 2 banelings going down here from Snute without really gaining much at all. He now sends his own zergling forwards, and we're just going to be seeing that single bane looking to see what else is going on. Another couple of lings jump onto the bane. I'm just going to be seeing again a little bit more continuing to be done here. Snute trying to dive into the natural. A baneling from him as well will just not reach. It does get rid of a couple of zerglings at least, though. And again, both players on 39 workers. Snute just doesn't have much army supply to kind of follow up with, though. He's down on 8 army supply and Solo at 22. Well, now Snute's just sort of finished up a big round of drones. He's 10 workers ahead, but how much damage is he going to take if Solo goes across the map right now? Probably quite a lot. I mean, already some zerglings over here have killed off the queen. The drones are dropping, and immediately Snute's worker advantage is disappearing so very quickly. Using the drones to try and help the fight. I mean, this queen will survive this time around at least, but more zerglings are arriving. This queen between the bases for some reason is getting taken down as well. So that goes down 2 here. More zerglings on the way out. These couple of banelings are maybe not even going to get a chance to go off, and maybe Snute has just been a bit too greedy with that round of drones. He's back to even on workers now because of the workers he's lost here, and oh, the banelings coming in. Snute doesn't allow them to connect just yet. Perfect. 1 zergling on that baneling to the top side. More of these banes continue to move in, and they are looking to connect. They don't quite find it, though. Solo is still using his units so well, and Snute just doesn't have enough. More zerglings trying to come in. This baneling, though, connects on the drones. 5 workers down, and it continues. Solo picks up a map